Deep in the heart of Southeast Asia lies one of the oldest rainforests on Earth. It's dark, dense, and alive with sounds. Dripping leaves, buzzing insects, and the occasional call of something that doesn't sound real. This is Borneo, and hiding within its tangled jungles are some of the most spectacular birds on the planet. Birds of Borneo aren't just rare, they're wild, vibrant, and completely unexpected. Some have massive horns growing from their heads. Others glow like forest jewels. And a few are so elusive, most people will never even know they exist. In this video, we're going deep into the canopy to uncover 15 of the most stunning, bizarre, and mind-blowing birds of Borneo, from iconic jungle giants to whisper-quiet birds seen only once in a lifetime. Get ready to meet some creatures that feel more like legends than animals. Let's dive in. This bird looks like it flew straight out of Jurassic Park. The Rhinoceros Hornbill is one of the most impressive and unmistakable birds in Southeast Asia, and a living symbol of Borneo's ancient rainforest. It's huge, almost 3 feet long, with a wingspan over 5 feet. And that bill, bright orange-yellow, curved, and topped with an enormous hollow helmet called a casque, like a second beak riding on top of the first. That's where it gets its name, Rhinoceros Hornbill. But this horn isn't just for show. When the bird takes flight through the jungle, its massive wings push so much air that it sounds like a helicopter slicing through the trees. Seriously, if you hear a low whoosh, whoosh, whoosh above you in the forest, it's probably this bird coming in hot. In the wild, it eats fruit, small animals, and sometimes snakes. But what really makes this bird unforgettable is how it raises its young. When the female is ready to lay eggs, she enters a hole in a tree, and the male seals the entrance with mud, leaving just a narrow slit. She stays inside for weeks, sometimes months, and the male feeds her and the chicks through that tiny opening. Total commitment. The Rhinoceros Hornbill is so iconic that it's the national bird of Malaysia and considered sacred by some Dayak tribes in Borneo. In folklore, it's said to be a messenger between the physical and spiritual worlds. Fun fact, that giant casque isn't solid, it's hollow and acts like a built-in amplifier. When the hornbill calls, it echoes through the jungle like a natural speaker system. If punk rock had a mascot in the bird world, it might be this guy. The Bornean bristlehead is one of the strangest and least understood birds in Southeast Asia, and it's only found on the island of Borneo. It's roughly the size of a robin, but it looks like someone mashed up a vulture, a crow, and a woodpecker, then dipped it in red paint and added some face spikes for good measure. Its head is bald and blazing red, with a weird fleshy crown covered in tiny bristles, like little antennae sticking straight up. No other bird in the region looks anything like it. Its body is mostly black, with bright yellow thighs that look like it's wearing workout shorts. And its eyes, sharp, intense, always alert, like it's got somewhere important to be. Bornean bristleheads are incredibly social. They travel in noisy flocks through the canopy, hopping from branch to branch like a little gang. You'll often hear them before you see them. They make strange, mechanical-sounding clicks and whistles that echo through the trees. Scientists still don't fully understand where this species fits on the evolutionary tree. For years, it was shuffled between different bird families. Now, it's in a group all its own. That's how weird it is. Despite living in one of the most biologically rich forests on Earth, it's incredibly hard to find. Even experienced birders can go their whole lives without seeing one. Fun fact, the Bornean bristlehead is so unique, it's the only member of its entire bird family, Pteraceae. In other words, it's the last of its kind. Some birds fly through the treetops. This one prefers to bounce through the underworld, like a neon wind-up toy with legs. The BlackCrowned Pea is one of Borneo's most colorful and charming ground-dwelling birds. It's tiny, barely 6 inches long, but its colors pack a punch. Imagine a bird with deep blue wings, bright red underparts, a black crown, and bold white stripes down the sides. It looks like a candy-coated rainforest jewel. But unlike flashy parrots or soaring hornbills, peas are secretive creatures. They stick to the dark forest floor, hopping from root to root like little jungle sprites. They don't fly much. just enough to escape danger, and spend most of their time quietly foraging for insects, worms, and snails in the leaf litter. What makes the black-crowned pea especially unique is its call. It sounds like a single, clear electronic note. Short, sharp, and surprisingly loud for such a tiny bird. In the silence of the early morning jungle, that note cuts through like a laser beam. Because they live in such dense and shadowy environments, peas are hard to study and even harder to photograph. Most birders count themselves lucky just to hear one. Despite their elusiveness, the black-crowned pea is fairly common in parts of Borneo, but good luck spotting it. It's like finding a skipping gemstone on the forest floor. Fun fact, the black-crowned pea belongs to a bird family known as jewel thrushes. And once you've seen one, you'll understand why. This bird is so rare, it was once thought to be a myth. Now we know it's real, but good luck trying to find one. The Blue-Banded Kingfisher is a secretive, river-loving bird found in the shady lowland forests of Borneo. It's small, about the size of a sparrow, but what it lacks in size, it makes up for in mystery. Its body is a velvety mix of dark blue and rusty orange, but the real showpiece is the soft blue band across its chest, delicate and glowing like moonlight reflected off water. That's where it gets its name. Unlike many kingfishers that perch out in the open, the blue-banded hides in the shadows. It sits silently on low branches over narrow jungle streams, watching for fish, frogs, or insects. When it strikes, it's fast, like a blur of blue lightning cutting across the water. Its call is soft and high-pitched, almost insect-like, easy to miss if you're not listening closely. This bird was missing from scientific records for decades and was feared extinct until just recently. A few lucky birdwatchers in Borneo have reported fleeting sightings, but photographs remain incredibly rare. That makes it one of the least documented kingfishers in the world, a species many researchers dream of seeing once in their lifetime. Fun fact, the blue-banded kingfisher has different populations across Southeast Asia, but the Bornean subspecies aren't as the rarest, and possibly the most endangered. If birds had red carpet events, this one would show up looking flawless and totally unbothered. The Whiteheads Trogon is one of Borneo's most elegant and elusive birds. It lives high in the montane forests of the island, where the air is cool, the trees are mossy, and sunlight filters in like a slow-moving dream. This Trogon wears a deep crimson chest, a jet black head, powdery blue eye rings, and wings patterned like fine velvet. Its tail, long, symmetrical, and trimmed in white. It looks like it's wearing a designer suit stitched together by the jungle itself. But despite the high fashion, it doesn't like attention. Whiteheads Trogons are famously shy. They perch motionless on shaded branches, barely making a sound. If you blink, you'll miss them. If you step too loud, they vanish into the trees like a memory. They feed mostly on insects and fruit, using short bursts of flight to snatch prey from midair or branches. And when they do call, it's a soft, rising whistle, just enough to remind you they're still out there. Even among birders, spotting one is a big deal. They only live in a narrow elevation range, mostly in the highlands of northern Borneo. You have to go looking, and even then, the forest decides if it wants to show you. Fun fact, the Whiteheads Trogon is named after British explorer John Whitehead, who discovered it in the 1880s. It's one of 3 spectacular birds in Borneo that now bear his name. This bird doesn't fly much. It walks through the jungle like it owns the place, and sounds like something out of Jurassic Park. The Bornean Ground cuckoo is one of the rarest and most mysterious birds on the island. It's big, nearly the size of a small chicken, with powerful legs, iridescent feathers, and a long, dramatic tail that sways as it moves through the undergrowth. Its body shimmers with metallic blues and greens, while its bare facial skin glows an intense magenta or crimson red. But the real shock comes when it calls. Its voice is deep and echoing, more like a boom than a song. The sound travels far through the forest and has been described as a dinosaur growl mixed with a tribal drum. And for years, people thought it was just folklore, until the bird was finally recorded in the wild. Bornean Ground cuckoos spend most of their time walking the forest floor, hunting insects, frogs, and even small snakes. They use their strong beaks to flip leaf litter and their sharp claws to chase prey. They're incredibly shy and extremely hard to find. Most sightings happen when one darts across a trail and vanishes instantly. In fact, scientists still know very little about its breeding habits. It's that elusive. Fun fact, this bird is so rarely seen that for decades, most of what we knew about it came from just a handful of museum specimens. Live video footage, still almost non-existent. This bird looks like it flew straight out of a Pixar movie. Big head, wide eyes, and a bill way too large for its face. The Dusky broadbill is one of the most comically charming birds in Borneo's jungle canopy. It's not flashy. Its plumage is a soft, smoky gray with a white throat and belly. But that bill steals the show. Thick, pinkish, and comically wide, the broadbill's beak looks like something designed for a cartoon character. It's shaped like a scoop, perfect for catching flying insects mid-air. And it gives the bird an almost permanently surprised expression. Despite their goofy appearance, dusky broadbills are surprisingly stealthy. They move in quiet, tight family groups, gliding through the mid-canopy with barely a sound. Their call is a soft series of short, low-pitched notes, like someone blowing gently into a bottle. They're insectivores, snatching bugs out of the air with quick, precise movements. And they nest high above the ground in big hanging structures that look like leafy hammocks, swaying in the breeze. Spotting one isn't easy. They blend into the shadows, but once you do, it's hard not to smile. There's just something off about them in the best way possible. Fun fact, that oversized bill isn't just for looks. It's lined with sensory bristles that help detect prey mid-flight, like a built-in motion detector. If the forest had its own fairy tale cast, this bird would be the quiet prince, dressed in velvet, hiding in the shadows. The Rednaped Trogon is one of Borneo's most enchanting birds. It's not loud, it doesn't dance or show off, but it doesn't have to. Males wear a rich rose-red chest, jet black head, and deep orange eye rings that glow like embers in the dim forest light. The red nape, a subtle splash of color on the back of the neck, completes the look, like a secret detail only the forest knows about. Their backs are chocolate brown with hints of bronze, and their long tails are neatly striped, perfectly designed for a bird that values stillness over spectacle. Red-naped trogons perch quietly, often unmoving for long stretches of time. They watch, wait, then make sudden, precise lunges to catch insects or grab fruit. You might pass within feet of one and never notice, until it lets out a soft, melancholic whoop that sounds more like a sigh than a song. They prefer undisturbed lowland forests, and sadly, that's becoming harder to find. Deforestation has made them much rarer, and sightings are increasingly scarce. They mate for life, often seen in pairs, a quiet commitment that mirrors their calm, steady nature. Fun fact, despite their striking appearance, red-naped trogons are masters of camouflage. Their colors blend perfectly with filtered jungle light, making them one of the hardest trogons to spot in the wild. This bird looks like it fell out of a fashion catalog and somehow landed gracefully on a jungle branch. Whiteheads Trogon is a tropical stunner found in the lowland rainforests of Borneo. From head to tail, it's dressed in bold, elegant colors. No single feature shouts, but the whole ensemble is unforgettable. The male wears a sleek black head with a bright pink throat, a velvet red chest, and a belly that fades into orange. Its back and wings shimmer with deep bronze, and the tail is neatly striped with black and white. Add to that a pale blue beak and electric blue eye rings, and you've got a bird that looks effortlessly put together. But don't let the looks fool you. Whiteheads Trogon is shy by nature. It sits quietly in the lower canopy, barely moving, scanning for insects or fruit. Its flight is slow and deliberate, and its voice is soft, a series of mellow rising whistles that drift through the trees like a breeze. Spotting one requires patience. They're masters at blending in, and they don't like crowds. They prefer old-growth forest, the quiet places, where light filters in just right to catch their colors. They're usually seen alone or in pairs, and they stay loyal to small territories. Fun fact, Trogons like Dierds have specially structured feathers that absorb light, giving their colors a rich, velvety appearance. That's why they don't just look colorful, they look luxurious. Some birds want to blend in. This one? It shows up dressed like a neon flame in the middle of the jungle. The Scarlet rump Trogon is one of Borneo's most eye-catching birds. Small, sleek, and painted in colors that seem impossible in nature. The male wears a deep black hood, bright red belly and rump, soft gray wings, and piercing pale blue eye rings. It's like someone took fire, shadow, and sky and stitched them together into feathers. Despite its bold look, it lives a surprisingly quiet life. These trogons perch low in the forest, often motionless for minutes at a time, waiting to catch insects midair or pluck fruit from overhanging branches. What makes them extra fascinating is how loyal they are. Scarlet rump trogons are almost always seen in pairs. They mate for life and spend their days perched near each other, hopping between trees with slow, graceful glides. Their call is soft and melancholic, a low whoop that echoes gently through the understory. They favor dense, humid lowland forests, areas that are rapidly disappearing. So spotting one today is not just rare, it's lucky. Fun fact, trogons have incredibly soft feathers that don't make noise during flight. That's why the scarlet rump trogon can glide right past you without a sound, like a flash of living color in total silence. You might never see this bird, but if you walk through the jungle at dawn, you just might hear it, and you'll never forget the sound. The white-crowned Shama is a small, slender songbird found in the lowland forests of Borneo. It's not flashy. Its plumage is mostly black with a bright white cap, a little white on the wings, and a long, elegant tail. But when it sings, it steals the spotlight from every bird around. Its voice is rich, complex, and endlessly varied. From sweet warbles to sharp whistles, rising trills, and even mimic sounds from other species. Some locals call it the jungle nightingale. Others just stop and listen in awe. The male sings to defend his territory and attract mates, and he doesn't hold back. Sometimes he'll perch on an open branch and belt out his song for minutes at a time, like he's giving a solo concert for the forest. Despite their beautiful voices, white-crowned shamas can be tricky to spot. They often stay low in the understory, darting between shadows and vines. Their long tails help them maneuver through the thick undergrowth like dancers in slow motion. Unfortunately, their popularity has also made them a target for trapping. Their songs are so admired that people often capture them for the songbird trade. Fun fact, each white-crowned shama develops a unique personal song. No two individuals sing exactly the same. They improvise like jazz musicians in the jungle. If tropical birds had a fashion show, this one would steal the runway without saying a word. The Bornean Banded Pea is, without question, one of the most visually spectacular birds in Southeast Asia. And it's found only on the island of Borneo. It's small and round-bodied, barely larger than a robin, but it packs more color per square inch than almost any bird on Earth. The male wears deep cobalt blue wings, a golden yellow crown, a neon orange chestband, and black stripes across the face that make it look like it's wearing war paint. Even its belly glows with rich hues of purple and chestnut. It's a forest floor jewel, hiding in plain sight. But here's the twist. For all that brilliance, it's nearly impossible to spot. These pittas are secretive ground dwellers. They move slowly, hopping low between roots and leaf litter, and freeze at the slightest disturbance, blending so well into the undergrowth that even seasoned birders walk right past them. They feed by flipping leaves with their stout beaks, searching for insects, snails, and tiny invertebrates. Their movement is methodical. Hop, stop, peck, repeat, and when they call, it's a soft, echoing hoot, haunting, brief, and easily missed. It prefers dense lowland rainforest, especially old-growth areas that are increasingly hard to find. Sadly, like many forest specialists, the Bornean Banded Pea is becoming rarer due to logging and habitat loss. Still, for those lucky enough to encounter one in the wild, it's an unforgettable moment, like watching a living ember flicker across the forest floor. Fun fact, this species was once lumped together with similar pitas in Sumatra and Java. But in 2010, researchers confirmed the Bornean Banded Pea as its own species, making it not just beautiful, but scientifically unique. Don't let the size fool you. This bird may be tiny, but it's armed, fast, and totally fearless. The Bornean Falcon is one of the smallest birds of prey on Earth. It's barely the size of a sparrow, around 6 inches long, yet it behaves like a raptor 10 times its size. It's got a sharp hooked beak, intense eyes, and curved talons built for business. Its plumage is striking, glossy black above, bright white below, and a bold chestnut patch across the nape, like it's wearing a little superhero cape. These falconets perch quietly on exposed branches, scanning the canopy and forest edge. When they spot prey, insects, lizards, even small birds, they strike in a blur, fast, precise, and shockingly powerful for their size. Despite being birds of prey, they're also surprisingly social. They often nest and roost in small family groups, sometimes sharing territories with others. You'll spot one sitting proudly on a high perch, looking like it owns the forest. And honestly, it kind of does. Because of their size and speed, they're easy to miss. But once you spot one, you'll never forget it. It's like watching a pocket-sized hawk with the energy of a firecracker. Fun fact, the Bornean Falcon is the smallest raptor in the world. And yet it hunts with the same killer instincts as eagles and hawks. Nature doesn't mess around. Some birds demand attention. Others disappear into the background until they sing. The Bornean leaf bird is a master of camouflage. With bright green plumage that matches the rainforest leaves almost perfectly, it can perch right in front of you, and you might never notice. Its colors don't just blend in, they vanish. This little bird is found in the humid lowland and hill forests of Borneo. It's small, slender, and active, flitting between branches, sipping nectar, snatching insects, and occasionally stopping to sing, and that's when it gives itself away. The Bornean leafbird's voice is sweet, clear, and flute-like, a melody that sounds like it belongs in a Studio Ghibli film. Its calls echo softly through the canopy, especially in the early morning, weaving through the forest like birdsong in a dream. Both males and females sing, but males are more vibrant. Their plumage shimmers with a golden-green tint and a subtle blue throat patch. They're also a bit more outgoing, often seen chasing insects mid-flight. Despite being fairly common in some areas, leafbirds are hard to study. They move fast, hide well, and live high in the trees, a triple threat for researchers and photographers. Fun fact, the Bornean leafbird is endemic, meaning it's found nowhere else on Earth. It's part of a small, unique bird family known for their ability to mimic the calls of other species. Some birds are rare, others are legendary. The Bornean peacock pheasant is both. This breathtaking bird is found only in the deep, undisturbed rainforests of Borneo, and even then, almost never seen. It's shy, silent, and blends into the shadows like a spirit of the forest. But if you're lucky enough to glimpse one, you'll never forget it. Its feathers are dark brown with glowing metallic eye spots, turquoise, violet, emerald, like scattered gemstones under dappled light. When threatened or displaying, the male fans out his tail and wing feathers in a shimmering arc, just like a peacock, but wilder, more mysterious. Unlike common pheasants, this bird doesn't strut across open ground. It glides through dense undergrowth, silent and low, almost like a ghost. Its large, expressive eyes and soft movements give it an almost mythical presence. It feeds on seeds, insects, and fallen fruits, and nests deep in the forest where few humans ever go. Researchers spent decades trying to find this species in the wild, and until recently, some feared it might be extinct. Today, it's still critically endangered, a living treasure on the edge of vanishing. Fun fact, the Bornean peacock pheasant is so elusive that most photos of it come from on camera traps. Not humans. Seeing one with your own eyes? That's the birding equivalent of winning the lottery. From tiny falconets to glowing pheasants, Borneo is home to some of the most extraordinary birds on the planet, but many of them are disappearing fast. Rainforests are shrinking. Sounds that once echoed every morning are now falling silent. That's why telling their stories matters. If one of these birds surprised you, or if you've actually seen one in the wild, we'd love to hear your story. Leave us a comment below and let us know which bird captured your imagination most. And if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves nature as much as you do. Because the more people know what's out there, the more they'll care about protecting it.